everyone, welcome back to the Discord Racing Association International Endurance Championship. I am your host Joe90 and we are back. 20-minute race today. We've already run qualifying before the start of the stream and it was the closest qualifying session we have ever seen. The 0.002 of a second on their final laps, and the top and my apologies, the 5 cars that were allowed to set a lap in LMGT split by just over 0.3 of a second between 5 cars. So it's been a phenomenally close qualifying session, and we will be getting underway very shortly. Husky, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Could you please tell the drivers that they've got about 2 minutes?
Yep, will do.
Right, so for those of you who are new here, this is the DRA International Endurance Championship. Basically it is LMP1 cars and a variety of GT3 cars all mixed together in a variety of endurance races around the virtual world. So today we are at Sao Paulo for the first time. We were meant to come here last season, unfortunately due to other circumstances the race was cancelled. So now we will get to see what this track brings when we run 12 cars here in 2 classes. And we are we will be underway in a moment. Husky, where did you set the restart zone as? Because I did not get a chance to see it.
From the pit retaining wall to the red overhead gantry banner.
Oh, okay, so basically from essentially the bit of the wall on the left where you've got the stripes saying left or right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chevrons, yeah. That's where.
Okay, cool. Gumball will be leading us down through the formation lap, followed by Sonic, Alvarex in 3rd, Neenan in 4th, Gold, a new entry in 5th, and Interceptor starting 6th after serving a qualifying ban from Monza. In LMGT we have Yalk on pole again, followed by Johto, then Sem, then Husky, followed by Outcast in a newly painted Nissan GTR, and Natty returning for the first time since Daytona. As drivers come down to turn 4 now, they're all starting to weave around, starting to build some temperature in the tyres. Gumball leading us round at a rather leisurely pace at the moment in order to make sure that we get back to the start-finish line on time. Husky, where is the double file point?
At the exit of the final corner, so to speak, quote unquote.
Okay.
At the exit of the...
Just asking because people have started to go double file now.
Yeah.
It's not an issue, I'm just looking at it thinking they went a little early, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. As long as no one got damaged, it's good.
Yeah. Now, with Gumball bringing us up to the green flag here in a moment, you'll be able to see the chevron barriers on the left. That's going to be the start of the start zone, and then that start zone runs from these chevron barriers on the left all the way through to the gantry over the circuit at the start-finish line, which gives these drivers plenty of space to decide when to go in. And Gumball has decided to bolt early. Neenan has got a really good start. Alvarez has got a really good start as well. 3 wide into the first corner. Alvarez goes quite deep into the first corner, followed by Neenan and Interceptor. Interceptor making up 1 place on Gold at the start. Gold now falling down the grid order. He has damage coming through turn 3, coming down towards turn 4 now. Interceptor starting on the medium tyre, one of only possibly 2 or 3 Now, Gold coming round towards the end of the lap. He's now behind the LMGT, so he's got to make his way through the LMGT field and start catching up as well. Of course, he's got damage now as well from that contact in the first couple of corners, so he's going to have to make the decision: does he stop for some tyres now, or does he wait and continue in a bit deeper into the race with this damage? He's past Natty, he's just going past Outcast now. Gumball leading comfortably, 2 seconds in the lead already from Alvarez. Alvarez currently a second, 1.1 seconds ahead of Neenan behind him. Sonic falling back down the order slightly on the medium tyres. Interceptor following behind Sonic, also slightly slower than the rest of the cars ahead of him as a result of being on medium tyres also. Alvarez's Audi sliding all over the place through that corner. A large amount of oversteer from that car as he went through the last couple of corners. Gumball still leading comfortably now. He's extended that lead by almost a full second this lap. Coming up towards the start-finish line now. His fastest lap currently a 1:22.5. Going faster now, 1:21.2. Alvarez 1:21.7. Neenan 1:22.4. Sonic 1:23.5. So there's a huge difference. Almost 2.3 seconds between the medium and the soft tyre at this stage of the race. Gumball now 3.7 seconds in the lead over Alvarez. Alvarez defending from Neenan. Coming up towards the next hard braking zone. Neenan just about stays behind Alvarez there. Meanwhile in LMGT, Yalk is leading by 5 tenths over his teammate Sem in the other JM trackside Lamborghini. Johto is P3 in LMGT, followed by Husky and Outcast. Bringing up the rear is Natty. The bottom 3 currently in LMGT, all on the medium tyres. The top 4, or sorry, the top 3, all currently on the soft tyres. Johto currently hunting down Yalk and Sem at the lead of this pack. Meanwhile, just behind them, just entering Sector 2, coming through the middle of Sector 2 now is Gumball, followed by Alvarax, still 3.7 seconds, so that gap has stabilised somewhat. Alvarax 7/10 of a second ahead of Neenan, who is 3.2 seconds ahead of Scott, and Scott 1.8 seconds ahead of Interceptor. Gold currently 21 seconds behind Interceptor. He is on a soft tyre, although he does have damage to the front nose and the front suspension on that Porsche 919. Sem now leading in LMGT. There is a 3-way battle for the lead currently taking place, as Sem and Yalk are trying to hold Johto back from charging past them in Porsche. Husky still leading the pack of the rear 3 cars in LMGT that are running medium tyres early. Alvarax still under pressure towards the front of the field in the BNR Audi R18. Neenan starting to drop back, the gap currently 1.1 seconds now. The gap ahead of Alvarax still 4.9 seconds, so it has increased somewhat since we last checked that. Gumball is on an absolute tear here, 120.033 currently his fastest lap. Off the back of Alvarax just slightly through this phase of the race. That gap going out a couple of tenths as the tyres start to wear in now. Noticeably the difference between that Porsche 919 and Alvarax's Audi R18 is the front right tyre. Neenan's front right is worn almost twice as much as Alvarax's car. Gumball is now catching up to the tail end of the LMGT field. He clears Natty, going back up towards the end of the 7th lap and the start of the 8th lap. He's currently gone through a purple sector in Sector 2. Can he improve the fastest lap at all?
Big contact / possible crash at turn 1.
Yeah, safety car then. Who was even in that? I didn't see it.
You have the replay feature available, don't you? I believe the 2 Lamborghinis actually hit each other. I heard lag was involved, maybe. So
I cannot go back far enough to see it.
Alright. We're having them both record our POVs, so, but it sounds like it was lag contact between the 2 Lamborghinis.
Yeah, Sem's got huge damage.
Yeah.
Like Sem's damage is front nose, right side suspension, front and rear bumper.
I came into turn 1 and I saw him, he was like all the way off in like the
Yeah, that's gonna be looked at, because if you out-kit him, that's not a good look.
Yeah. He was like all the way into the barriers at turn 1. Like at the
Yeah.
Where is it? The little concrete, I think those are what, concrete thingies?
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about. I forgot their name.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, he was all the way over there.
Could you please tell
big.
both Interceptor and Gold to stop talking in the chat, because don't obviously explain why, just tell them that they shouldn't be.
I mean, the thing is, they can also just be talking in the PlayStation call rather than the Discord.
Yeah, I was going to say, they should be talking to each other in the PlayStation chat if they have something to say.
Yeah.
Or communicating via you that they want to apologise, not doing it in the in-game chat while I'm trying to get people in the right order for a safety car. Could you please tell Yalk to pick the pace up to a lot more than what he's doing, because at the minute he's just not making a dent into Gumball.
He's going all out. We've made a dent. Originally the LMP1s are like right behind us, and we've basically gapped them.
Yeah.
We've made a bit of a gap, yeah. Also, if you see me like going to the pause menu, that's because I'm gonna have to invite Interceptor back to the call. Apparently, he's not in it. He was in it at the start, but I think he like left it or something. So I'm gonna go into pause menu real quick.
Yeah. Could you please tell Natty to go past Gumball and start unlapping? Because I'm not going to wait till the pit lane's open to do this. He needs to go now. Because he's that close to being a lap down to the class lead, he may as well go now while the class lead is still catching up.
Yeah, I just told him. I didn't know he was behind that LMP1. It made it easier for him to go a little bit earlier if I knew.
Yeah, if I'd have realised he was where he was, I would have sent him off, 2 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago. Can you tell Gumball to try and keep the pace at about 50 miles an hour where he is now, just so that the speed is a little bit lower so we can start catching people up.
You said what speed?
50, so just a hair
miles
under 100 k's. Yeah, 50 miles an hour. Once Natty catches up to the back of the train, we'll open the pits and get everybody pitted and sorted. Interceptor, Gold, too close. Under safety car. So they will be in trouble. So, Natty is currently about halfway round the circuit getting unlapped. He should jump to being on the same lap as everybody in the next 5 seconds when he comes across the line. Yeah, right. If Gumball wants to bring the pace up to 70 miles an hour, he now can, because we've got everybody together again. I did put it in the chat, but the pit lane is open, so... pit lane is getting incredibly busy. Sonic is the only car that has stayed out. Gumball coming in, he's probably going to opt for tyres and fuel. Interceptor in, he's going to opt for tyres and fuel. Alvarez also in, opting for tyres and fuel. Gold opting for tyres, fuel and repairs to the damage. Sam opting for tyres, fuel and repairs to the damage as well on his car. That's going to shuffle him to the rear of LMGT. Alvax there catching a 3-second penalty for presumably cutting the lines on pit exit. Please could you tell Interceptor and Gold that they have been noted again for following too close?
We'll do. Are we going green this time by since everyone's together?
No, because Alvarez has a 3-second penalty to serve because he's going to serve.
Served before.
Yeah, but only just before. We'll go one more lap under safety car and then we'll go. Because otherwise the spacing is going to be funky. Because at the minute there's like 2-second gaps between the top 3, then a 4-second gap, then a 2-second gap, then a 1-second gap. Right, So, to explain why we're under safety car, basically, two of the LMGTs coming through the first couple of corners here as we ride on board with the ALK. Coming through those first couple of corners, two of the LMGTs came together incredibly hard. That resulted in Sem receiving damage as he stops again, goes to the medium tyre, tops the car off with fuel. So the race is going to resume at the end of this lap. Scott, who is currently leading, stayed out on the pit cycle. He didn't need to stop at all. Gumball didn't take fuel. Alvarez, the first of the LMP1s that stopped and took fuel. Interceptor did stop and took fuel and tyres. Gold also stopped, took fuel, tyres and repairs. Yalk, now leading LMGT, he stopped, took fuel and tyres, as did the entire field, the only exception to this being Sem, who stopped twice for fuel and tyres both times, and to repair damage the first time as well. And we are back underway here at Sao Paulo. Sonic leads us down to the first corner as Gumball goes deep, Neenan goes deep, Alvarez goes incredibly deep as well there. And Gold is in the wall again on the start of on the restart of the race. He hasn't made it through. He's made it through turn 1 several times under safety car cleanly. He's not made it once on a start cleanly yet, though. What happened there? Well, the replay did not catch it. That's unfortunate. He's had several moments so far today. Gumball currently running P2. He led a large chunk of this race up until the safety car very comfortably. Set the fastest lap comfortably as well. Interceptor currently P3 for Team FullPush in the Audi. So it is 1, 2, 3 for Audi at the moment. There is 2 Porsche 919s, the first of which is Neenan in P4, who is currently applying a lot of pressure to Interceptor. Alvarez is P5 for BNR, and P6 is the other 919 of Gold. Johto currently leading in LMGT on the soft tyre, followed by Gold in the LMP1 car that's out of position, followed by Outcast on the soft tyre, Husky on the soft tyre, Yalk on the medium tyre, and Natty on the soft tyre as well. The entire back up to P3 in class as things stand. Husky applying a significant amount of pressure at the moment. At the front of the field, Sonic starting to pull away here. 1.3 second gap. Gumball in the grass ever so slightly there. Interceptor starting to put pressure on him. Neenan starting to put pressure on as well a little bit. Alvarez still P5, 15 seconds ahead of Gold, who has damage once more after the safety car restart. Sonic now leading by 1.7 seconds in LMP1 from Interceptor and Gumball, followed by Neenan in the Porsche 919, followed by Alvax, 4 seconds back now. Johto currently leading LMGT by 2.2 seconds from OutCast, followed by Sem, Husky and Yalk, all of which are fighting for position at the moment. Natty is about to get in on this fight as well for FVR in that Audi R8. So we're about to have 4 cars fighting for 1 space on circuit. That is not going to go well if the previous battles in LMGT were any indicator, considering they did bring out the safety car. At the front of the field, Sonic's still leading comfortably. Gumball has just got past Interceptor again for P2. Interceptor looked for the move there for just a moment, backed out of it. Neenan currently P4 overall, Alvax 3.6 seconds back now, so this fighting is bringing Alvax back into the competition here just a little bit. Neenan starting to push a little bit more now just to catch up to Interceptor. He does smell the potential here for a podium if Interceptor and Gumball keep fighting. Alvarex also pushing now as well, 0.3 closer than he was last lap, 3.3 seconds back now. Gold falling away at the back of the field somewhat as he is still struggling with the damage from the safety car restart and managing that to stay in 6th place in LMP1. Alvarex still only 3.2 seconds back now from Neenan, so Neenan is starting to get into the air, the turbulent air behind Interceptor. Interceptor currently running incredibly quick as he is the only LMP1 car on softs, and he's currently 3rd as well, which means he's really pushing to try and gain places as things are, just to try and close the gap up to Gumball and to Sonic in front of him. Meanwhile in LMGT, Johto currently leading by 2.5 seconds from OutCast, followed by Sem, Husky, Yalk and Natty as they pile through turn 4, Husky just barely being left enough room there. Natty looking for the move, coming up to turn 5 and 6, Natty ever so slightly wide, loses the momentum, drops in behind Husky again. Coming to the first of the S section in Sector 2, Natty still 6th in LMGT, still trying to apply the pressure to the cars in front of him. Yalk and Sem both on the medium tyres. Husky and Natty both on the soft tyres as they come towards the start of Sector 3 in the run up to the start finish line. Sem still leading this pack after the damage he sustained earlier. Yalk just having a look there to the outside of Sem. Sem defending the apex of the corner on the entry really aggressively there. Yalk pulls out of the slipstream again, coming through turn 3. He has a slight run coming down the back straight. Is he going to have the space to get on the brakes early enough into turn 4? Sem defending him to the point where Yalk is almost in the grass. Yalk forced out now, drops one place, drops another place to Matty almost. So Yalk is now down to 5th in class. Husky is up to 4th. Sem up to 3rd still. They're 7 seconds back from OutCast, which means they're 9 seconds back from the leader. This fight is really starting to cost them, as there is blue flags for Sonic coming up to the back of this massive fight for 9th place overall. Sem's still leading the group, however Husky is right there and piling the pressure onto him. Sem's still leading in LMGT as Gumball is struggling to find his way through this gaggle of cars. Husky still P10 in LMGT as Gumball sweeps all the way round the outside of this group. That now raises the question of where is Interceptor in
Matty
relation to
just
this
died at the exit of turn 3.
Yeah, we're going to go safety car because yeah, it looks like he went out there on his own from the little bit I can see, but we do now have 2 cars with damage, so we are going to go safety car again. Everybody is on the right lap for where they should be in their class, so we're gonna basically, as soon as the train's formed up, we're gonna open the pit lane. So I'll be waiting about another 45-50 seconds because I've 2 cars that need to form the train. So as things are, Sonic currently leading the race, Gumball P2, Interceptor P3, Neenan P4, Alvarez P5, Gold P6. Johto leading in LMGT, followed by OutCast, followed by Sem, Husky, Yalk and Matty. Can you just remind the drivers, Husky, that the pit lane is open? pit lane's about to get interesting because Interceptor has opted to stay out. Sonic, Gumball, Neenan, Alvax and Gold, all of the rest of the LMP1 field have come in to switch tyres. Sem has come in along with the entirety of the LMGT field, Interceptor being the only car left out on circuit as things are. Sonic will be the first car off the pit lane. Followed by Gumball. Alvarex will come out behind some of the LMGT cars. Husky, could you tell the LMGT guys that this is going to be a long safety car because we now need to reshuffle the pack because we've got LMPs mixed in with GTs at this point. Johto on the safety car pit stop appears to have done the opposite of all of the other LMGT cars behind him. He has switched from, I believe, a medium tyre to another medium tyre in an effort to stay running later into this race. However, all of the cars behind him, so every other car in LMGT, has just selected the Michelin Pilot Sport soft tyres, which is going to be very interesting on this restart in a lap or two's time, because it's going to mean that he is going to have to defend from 5 other cars on this restart. Husky, please could you tell Interceptor that when he gets to the back straight between T3 and T4 to stay to the left, along with the rest of the LMP1s to stay to the left and to speed up, and then yeah, GTs stay to the right on the racing line. Right, everybody's back in the right order, everybody's on the same lap again, which means that at the end of this lap we're going to resume the race. So Interceptor's going to have the point on this, followed by Sonic, followed by Neenan, followed by Gumball, Alvarex and Gold. Johto will lead off in LMGT, followed by OutCast, then Sem, then Husky, Yalk and Rhea being brought up by Natty. So Interceptor is bringing the LMP1 field up to the line again to restart us, and he goes for the jump now. Sonic currently P2, starting to pile the pressure on just a little bit. Neenan P3, Gumball P4, Alvax P5, Gold P6. Interceptor already under pressure from Sonic behind him. The tyre difference really starting to show here. Sonic pulls to the outside of the circuit. Starts Interceptor. Interceptor running in the grass there, trying to defend. Sonic goes through, down the inside. Beautiful positioning and a well executed overtake there. Neenan currently P3, starting to struggle from the accordion effect just a little bit there, as everything sort of concertinas up through the slow corners. He is in a real pickle, as is Alvarex and Gumball. All of those drivers really starting to bunch up here. Alvarex looking to the inside of Gumball. Alvarex up to P4. Now, will he keep the pressure on? He's going to try and keep the pressure on Neenan ahead of him. Neenan now goes for the outside of Interceptor. Interceptor on the inside going into turn 1. Neenan trying to out-drag the Audi. He is ahead. Interceptor just out-brakes him there, going through the first 3 corners. Neenan making sure to use up plenty of curb, swinging round the outside in turn 3 to clear Interceptor. Alvarex now on the back of this pair as well. Interceptor looks to the inside of Neenan. That's going to bring Alvarex into the equation here now, because he's also on fresh soft tyres. This is all going to help Scott run off into the distance in the Audi R18 for N3XUS Racing. Neenan starting to back Interceptor up just a little bit here now. Interceptor all over the rear bumper of the Team Don 919. Alvarex starting to become a factor as well here. He's going to be looking for a move shortly as well. Interceptor still tantalisingly close to the Spanish driver. Sonic has just checked out. He is currently 3.3 seconds in the lead, and all that's happening behind him is chaos. He has 3 drivers fighting for 1 place as Alvarex now comes into the slipstream of Interceptor. Interceptor's going to run all the way through the centre of the track on the entrance to turn 1. Alvarex throws his Audi to the inside, and he's going to not have the switch back on Interceptor just yet. Interceptor's still under pressure from Alvarex. Alvarex right under the rear wing of the Audi in front of him, looking to the outside for turn 4. As Alvarex goes a little bit deep into turn 4 as he looks for the switch back on Interceptor, coming through turn 5 and up to turn 6. Alvarex still looking on the outside of Interceptor, now looking for the switch back to the inside. Interceptor really acting as the cork in the bottle at this stage. He is really holding up both Alvarex and Gumball at this point. Neenan has disappeared 2.5 seconds off into the distance. As Alvarex still under the rear wing of Interceptor, now pulls level with him on the run up to the start finish line. Alvarex on the inside with the momentum as well. Gumball now looking for the move 2, entering. Gumball looks to the inside, has a think about it. Alvarex and Interceptor bang doors going into turn 1. Interceptor forcing the issue there through turn 1, stays ahead going through turn 3. Alvarex still on the back of Interceptor. Gumball now joining in on this fight as well. Interceptor has got to realise at some point that it is not worth fighting this battle. He's just damaging his tyres and damaging his own race as well by doing this, because all he's doing at the moment is losing time to both Neenan and to Sonic in the lead of this race. Interceptor's still trying to hold Alvarax off. Alvarax looking to the outside, looking for a switchback again, a slight snap of oversteer there. Coming down to the final couple of corners, Alvarax all over the back of Interceptor again. Gumball just biding his time, waiting for his moment as these two fight it out. Alvarax looking to the inside, looking to the outside, looking to the inside again. Interceptor running all the way through the centre of the circuit, trying to deny that inside line to Alvarax. Alvarax looking to the outside now into turn 1. Gumball just picking up a little bit of grass through turn 1. Through turn 2 now. Alvarax has the momentum with him coming off of turn 3 through turn 3. He's going to look to the outside going into turn 4. He's not going to quite have the momentum there. Interceptor blocking the inside line off again from Alvarax. Alvarax is going to have to build up the momentum all over to close this gap down to Interceptor now. Interceptor still defending as they run through turn 6 and 7. Neenan now 5 seconds up the road from Interceptor. Interceptor not only acting as the cork in the bottle, he is going to almost hand Neenan and Sonic the ability to fight among themselves at this rate. As Alvarax has another slide of oversteer there coming through the corner. Down to the start of Sector 3 now. Interceptor still 2.5 tenths ahead of Alvarax. Alvarax driving that car just a little bit tighter into the corners, trying to find as much time as he can on the English driver ahead of him. He is in the slipstream again. Is he going to look to the inside? Is he going to look to the outside? Interceptor stays on the inside. Alvarax looks to the outside again. He has the momentum this time. Interceptor on the brakes into turn 1, runs it slightly deep again. Alvarax still with the momentum out of turn 2 into turn 3. Now all over the back end of Interceptor's Audi R18. Alvarax looking to the outside for a moment there, looking to the inside. Interceptor setting a personal best sector there through sector 1, being pressurised by Alvarax the entire way. Meanwhile, Gumball is just sat there, not only losing time to the lead and to his teammate, but he's just sat there waiting for these two to come together. They've bumped doors a couple of times now. Interceptor driving defensively through most of these corners now with Alvarax all over the back of him. At some point this is going to end badly. This is fantastic racing, but it is just deeply uncomfortable to watch the way that they're being so aggressive with one another. Alvarax still trying to find time on Interceptor. Still with the momentum shift coming through turn 3. Alvarax taking turn 2 slightly differently to Interceptor to try and build that momentum up for turn 4 again. Interceptor still only 3 tenths away from Alvarax now as they start coming up to traffic. Neenan now 6 seconds ahead of this group. Sonic 3 seconds ahead of him. Interceptor now 7 tenths of a second, 7.5 tenths of a second from Alvarax as Alvarax has switched to defending from Gumball here. However, he's going to have to make his mind up whether he wants to attack or defend. Alvarax can't do both as he runs ever so slightly wide into the grass as a result of some oversteer. That's going to allow Gumball through. Now we get to see whether Gumball, once he clears Johto in the Nexus Racing Porsche, the LMGT car from that team, can he now pass Interceptor as they fight their way through traffic? Interceptor currently trapped behind LMGT traffic. That's going to allow Gumball to have a colossal run at him through turn 3. It's also going to allow It's also going to allow Alvarax to catch all the way up to Interceptor as well. Alvarax on the rear bumper of Interceptor again. Gumball goes through into P3. 7.1 seconds now to Neenan, so Gumball's going to have to go on an absolute mission here in order to clear that gap down to about a second and a half. As somebody went off there, was that OutCast going off? One of the LMGT cars just went really wide through turn 6. As Gumball goes round, what on earth happened there? Coming up on the LMGT cars, Interceptor forces his way through, Gumball on the outside, and Alvarax just tags him while trying to clear an LMGT. Unfortunately for Alvarax, that may be a penalty post-race. That was just a case of wrong place, wrong time, and I was absolutely right there. It did all end in tears, just with the wrong two cars. I predicted Alvarax and Interceptor coming together, and in fact it was Alvarax and Gumball coming together that settled that battle. Just about 55 minutes into this race now, 35 minutes left. That's going to be about another 25 laps or so as Natty dropping back at the back of the field. What happened there for him to be going off backwards? Did he just... He just got tagged by Husky, managed to keep it out of the barrier and stop it off circuit in a safe place, but that was far from ideal for Natty there. Sonic still with a healthy lead, 2.5 seconds over Neenan. Neenan 9.3 seconds ahead of Interceptor now. Interceptor, his tyres starting to show their age a little bit here. He's going to have to do a pit stop before the end of this race in order to stay ahead of Alvarax. Alvarax, significantly healthier tyres that may even be able to make it to the end of this race. 33.5 minutes left on the clock here. And plenty of tyre left on Alvarax's car as well. Interceptor just has a moment there of oversteer coming through turn 8, I believe. Those tyres really starting to show their age now. Alvarax taking a few tenths a sector out of Interceptor now. The gap now down to 2.2 seconds as Interceptor is clearly struggling with those tyres and the amount of grip he has with those tyres. Interceptor diving into the pit lane now. Gold also diving into the pit lane with yet more damage. Let's see if we can catch what happened there. So he's come out of the final corner with damage already. Dives into the pit lane. Interceptor leaving the pit lane on fresh tyres now and plenty of fuel. Gumball slightly less than half a tank remaining. Still has tyres that are in a good place at the moment. Alvarax currently P3, setting personal best sectors now that he's in free air. The gap between him and Neenan is coming down gradually now. Nienen's tyres looking slightly worse for wear than the Audis around him. Gold leaving the pit lane now as well after fixing the damage. He's going to be 28 seconds behind Interceptor, who is 29 seconds behind Gumball. Although that gap is falling ever so slightly, it is going to settle as these drivers approach race speed again with these tyres. Now, in LMGT, Yalk is P2. Sem currently leads it in LMGT in P7 overall. Yalk P2, Outcast P3, Husky P4, Natty P5, Johto P6 having just stopped as well for tyres and fuel. The strategy game really starting to shuffle round here at Sao Paulo. Sonic's still leading at this stage in LMP1, 3.2 second lead, so that's gone up just a little bit from the last time that we checked it. Nienen still P2 in LMP1, 10.5 seconds ahead of Alvarex. Alvarex trying to set the fastest lap, currently 0.7 of a second off the fastest lap. His previous best lap a 1:20.5, the current fastest lap Gumball a 1:19.9, so about 0.7 of a second gap between those two. Gumball starting to fall away just a little bit from Alvarex. He's going to be managing his fuel at this point in order to try and make it to the end. Meanwhile, he's going to have Interceptor behind him, pushing at full speed with 3/4 of a tank of fuel or so, and fresh soft tyres. The same for Gold at the back of this pack. Both of those cars now should make it to the end of this race. Nienen 4 seconds back now from Sonic. Alvarex now only 9 seconds back from Nienen, so he has gained some time as Nienen's gone through the traffic on this lap. Meanwhile, in the LMGT field, Sem currently leads from Yalk. They're split by 0.1 of a second and barely feet on the track as well. Sem currently leading in the LMGT field. The big question is now, are Yalk and Sem going to swap around, or are they going to stay in the same position? The championship order, I believe, has Sem currently leading in LMGT. Now, Yalk still P2 at the moment. in LMGT. Outcast 5.7 seconds behind them. Neenan currently catching up to Yalk and Sem. He goes past 5.7 seconds between him and Sonic as Sonic pits from the lead of this race. That's going to hand Neenan the net lead. Then Alvarez is going to get the net lead, because Neenan will then need to pit in a few laps time in order to make it to the end of this race. That's then going to potentially hand no, it's not. It's going to hand Alvarez the net lead, because Alvarez has plenty of tyre left and plenty of fuel left, unlike the drivers either side of him. Neenan has just under a quarter of a tank of fuel left and not much tyre. Alvarez has plenty of tyre, over half of his tyre is left, so he's not even crossed 40% wear yet, or 50% wear, sorry, on his tyres. Gumball has just over a quarter of a tank left on fuel, and has similar tyres to Alvarez. However, he's probably not going to have enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. In LMGT at the moment, it is currently Johto leading in LMGT, followed by Sem, and then Husky, then Yalk. Then after that is Chaos Phil, who is not here today, unfortunately, which means that if Sem wins, with Johto finishing as Neenan comes into the pits, that's now handed Alvarez the net lead. 24 minutes left on the clock. Gumball trapped behind the two JM trackside Lamborghinis in traffic as things are. 7.9 second gap now to Alvarez. Gumball may need to pit again before the end of this race. Sonic is currently P3, 13 seconds back. He either really lifts his pace up or manages to keep his tyres alive longer than the cars ahead of him. Neenan on fresh tyres could be a factor. However, it would require him to catch up. For every 60 seconds there is on the clock, he would have to catch up 1.3 seconds or so to Alvarez. And that gap is coming down, but it is not coming down fast enough at this stage. That's largely due to the fact that Neenan is stuck in traffic. As a driver, being stuck in traffic in this situation is the worst thing possible, because you can see the clock coming down, you can see the guys ahead of you all pitting for tyres and fuel to make it to the end. And all that's going to do is put you in this frame of mind of, you know, what if I you know, catch traffic at a bad time? What if I catch, you know, what if there's a safety car at a bad time? You know, there's so many what ifs as a driver going through your head in this situation, trying to catch up to a leader, that it is far from ideal. Interceptor now with nose damage also, so he's had an incident somewhere on track. It appears that Interceptor at some stages had contact with the wall on the circuit, around the circuit somewhere, as somebody went spinning there. That's Gold spinning around in the final couple of turns before the start-finish straight. He recovers the car well, gets going again. Interceptor now coming through turn 4, coming through turn 5 now, up to turn 6. He's running almost completely by himself as there's no traffic or LMP cars near him. Alvarez Just coming down to turn 4 now, he has a 19-second lead, 21 minutes on the clock. Sonic would have to close this gap. For every minute there is on the clock now, 21 minutes, Sonic would have to close this gap at about 7/10 of a second or more per minute left on the clock, which is possible. However, he's going to have to start managing fuel and tyres a lot sooner than Alvarez is. Alvarez is slightly better on fuel and slightly better on tyres than the man chasing him down in P2. Neenan has closed the gap up significantly to Sonic in front of him, which is going to help a lot with this race in the closing phases, although he's not closing that gap anywhere near fast enough for this to make an impact on the outcome of this race. He's not closed up to Sonic anywhere near enough to grab second unless Sonic were to make a mistake. Now, looking at the LMGT field, Yalk is now leading in LMGT, followed by Sem, followed by OutCast, followed by Natty, then Husky, who is very close to having a puncture on that front right tyre, followed by Johto in P6 in the class. So right now, if I was the JM trackside Lamborghinis, I would be asking Sem to stay as close as he could to Yalk and getting ready to switch those two cars over in order to maximise the standings for the team and for the drivers, because with Sem switching with Yalk at this stage, it would allow Sem to pick up maximum points, take advantage of the fact that Johto is only 6th, so it widens the gap on points between him and Johto. It also means that the team is still 1-2.
We've had a car getting damaged somewhere. I think it was Gumball.
Yeah, Gumball's got damage. I'll look on the replay a second and see what happened. It looks like he got turn 1 barriered from what's broken on it. I think he might have just missed turn 1. Is Gumball gonna pit and fix it, or what's his plan? Because if not, we might have to throw a safety car, because there is multiple cars going round with damage on them at the minute.
He's not gonna box, he's gonna stay out.
Okay. Can you ask, we'll give him a second to go past the pit lane, Interceptor's staying out as well. Oh no, Gumball is pitting. Okay, so yeah. That means that there's not going to be a safety car because Gumball has pitted and he's going to fix the damage. That now leaves the question remaining, can Alvarez stay in control of this race in the lead? Alvarez currently 18 seconds ahead of Sonic, although Sonic has been going through traffic for the last couple of laps and still is going through traffic. Please could you communicate to Gold that if he hasn't let Sonic by the start finish line, that he's going to be noted for ignoring blue flags. And he's just let him through as soon as I say that. It's almost as if I can read the driver's mind. Interceptor still 40 seconds down. on Neenan. Neenan's 6.5 seconds behind Sonic, so he is catching up, but not enough to win this race. He's going to catch up maybe enough to grab second, but he's not going to catch up enough to catch Alvarez before the end of this race. Alvarez now 16.9 seconds ahead of Sonic, so the gap is slowly creeping down, but it's mostly creeping down through the traffic as opposed to through pace. That is 16.5 seconds. That gap has come down as Alvarez has gone through the traffic just a little bit. Sam comes into the pits. He's going to be taking presumably tyres and fuel, although he should have enough fuel to make it to the end, as other drivers seem to be perfectly happy staying out on around the same amount of fuel as what he has. So that now raises the question, at what point is he going to be, because the thing is, he's grabbed a lot more fuel. He's gone to nearly half a tank of fuel. That might have just cost Sam the lead of the championship by doing that stop, because he's going to come out and Natty is going to be the nearest car to him. He's going to be about 10 seconds behind Natty. Which means he's going to have 8.5, so he's got 8.5 seconds to close up to Natty. Jota is now the car immediately behind him. Natty is now 10.5 seconds behind OutCast. Yalk in the lead by 16 seconds in LMGT. Yalk opting to pit now as well from the lead of LMGT. Alvarez still leading by 15 seconds in LMP from Sonic. Sonic's starting to close that gap down a little bit now. Neenan still closing that gap down to Sonic and to Alvarez, although still not closing fast enough. Sonic 14.9 seconds behind Alvarez now. Alvarez just passing Gumball, so he's going to be under pressure just a little bit from the car in P5 now. Gumball with a little bit more pace in his car than Alvarez at this point, just as a result of the fresher tyres. However, he's going to have to, if he does go to unlap himself, he's going to have to start pulling away pretty quickly from Alvarez if he were to make that move. The gap now 14.3 seconds. Husky, can you hear me? Can you remind Gumball that if he can pass Alvarez and pull away, he shouldn't just sit under his rear wing?
Yeah, that's been communicated. He was asking about it before he caught up, just to make sure.
Can Alvarez hear you as well?
I believe so. He's in the call. And
Can you
spoken, so
tell
yeah,
him that if he wants to, he can let Gumball go, if Gumball pulls away, to let him pull away? Because at the minute he's just losing time, so I'm just thinking at this point it might be best for him and for Gumball as well, if they were just swapped around a little bit to allow Alvarez to, you know, not be put under pressure by a lapped car, as well as the lapped car not getting aggravated that he's being held up by the leader. Gumball just went round into turn 1. I think he caught the grass on the entry into T1 there. That is not going to please him at all. Alvarez 13.5 seconds in the lead. Sonic currently P2. Seven seconds ahead of Neenan, who is 48 seconds ahead of Interceptor. Interceptor's still with damage. He's 16 seconds ahead of Gumball now, so Gumball's going to probably close that gap down to about 10 seconds to Interceptor at this rate, because Interceptor's tyres are significantly more worn than Gumball. Sonic just starting to get a little bit close on fuel now. He's below a quarter of a tank to make it to the end of this race. He should be able to make it with 9 minutes on the clock. That should be about 7 laps of fuel. To the end, which means that he is probably going to be saving fuel from here on out. Neenan has closed the gap down to Sonic as well, so Sonic is definitely saving fuel at this stage. Interceptor has fallen back a lot from Neenan as well, so that means that, yeah, Sonic has probably started saving fuel. Neenan has started pushing Interceptor. Sorry, Interceptor has fallen back from Neenan, which means that Gumball's going to catch up to Interceptor pretty soon, as well as Alvarez, because Alvarez is just ahead of Gumball by about 4 seconds, if that. They're both coming down towards turn 1 now. Interceptor is just coming down the back straight, so he's going to be a lap down in very short order. Alvarez just starting to lift the pace up a little bit now. He's still got Gumball with him, trying to put the pressure on. Yellow flags going through the final corner. That was for Sem. Sem having a moment in the final corner as the leader and P5 come past him. Now Alvarez 15 seconds ahead of Sonic. Sonic obviously having some issues coming through the LMGT traffic there as the gap's gone up by 2 seconds. Neenan now 3 seconds behind Sonic as well, so Sonic has obviously started, Sonic has started really managing his fuel towards the final few laps of this race. Sonic just passing Natty there, who has nose damage at the moment. He's limping his car around the circuit. He's really low on fuel at the moment. Alvarez still leading, 16 seconds in the lead now. Sonic starting to manage his fuel as well, significantly more than the last few laps. Sonic still managing his fuel. That lap was 3 seconds slower, and he's now got Neenan for company through turn 2. So Neenan has caught up to Sonic. He's got 5 minutes on the clock. The question is now, will Sonic continue managing his fuel, trying to stay P2, or will he just let Neenan past, try and not fight too much for this position? Neenan looks to the inside at turn 6, has a think about it, doesn't quite get the momentum there. Sonic trapped behind the LMGT car of Sem. Now has Neenan right behind him. Neenan looking to the outside of Sonic. Alvarez 16.4 seconds in the lead now. Sonic defending from Neenan. Neenan using up every inch of track behind the American driver in order to try and get past and try and shift the momentum at this stage. 4 minutes left on the clock. Alvarez currently in turn 2. He's going to have 3 laps left. Neenan does not have time. He's cleared Sonic now going into turn 1. Neenan doesn't have time without Alvarez making a mistake to catch up to the Spanish driver. I don't think they've got 3 laps on the clock, if that, on timing. That means that Neenan would have to close nearly 6 seconds a lap to catch up to Alvarez in the lead of this race. That's not going to happen at this point. Neenan's done a fantastic strategy, has worked out really well, he's come back to second place, but it's not going to result in him catching Alvarez, I don't think, because the speed is there in that car to catch up. It's just not going to happen fast enough. Gap's still going up between Alvarez and Neenan now, 17 seconds. Neenan is going to run out of time or fuel before he catches Alvarez. Alvarez still managing his fuel and managing the race from the front. Neenan 17 seconds back, Sonic 1.5 seconds back, Gumball 1 minute back, side by side in turn 5, running up to turn 6 with Interceptor. Interceptor tucking in behind Gumball now. Gumball now up to P4, he's a minute behind his teammate Sonic. Sonic 2 seconds behind Neenan now, who has closed half a second to Alvarez in the last half a lap. 2 minutes left on the clock. Alvarez 16.5 seconds in the lead. 1 minute 40 seconds on the clock. Alvarez is going to get 2 more laps. Neenan is not going to get 2 more laps. Nienen's only going to get 1 more lap at this rate on timing. Alvarez starts his penultimate lap, 1 minute 23 on the clock. Seconds to Nienen. Nienen starts his final lap of the race. 1 minute 7 seconds on the clock. Not enough for another lap after this one. Alvarez just far enough into this lap to get another. Interceptor now ahead of him. Yalk leading in LMGT, that car running on fumes. Outcast's car slightly better on fuel, followed by Sem in the other Lamborghini, 8.5 seconds back on Outcast. Closing that gap ferociously. He's not managing his fuel at all at this stage. He's going for pure speed. As Alvarez comes round the final couple of corners. The question now is, if I was Alvarez, would I just lift coming up to these final couple of corners so I don't have to do the extra lap? He doesn't lift, he crosses the line with 2 seconds on the clock. Nienen will be the first car to cross the line and finish. The timer runs out. Nienen rounds the final corner, comes home second in LMP1. Sonic comes home third. Alvarez rounding turn 4 now on his final lap. Gumball coming through turn 7 and 8. The hardest part of Sector 2 in these LMP1 cars due to the change in direction being almost constant. Yalk crosses the line to win in LMGT, followed by Outcast, followed by Sem in P3. Johto still in Sector 2, blue flags being given for Alvarez behind him, followed by Husky. Natty in the pit lane, now that the timer has run out. Alvarez just clearing the 2 Nexus Racing cars, coming round the final couple of corners. Alvarez celebrating in the Spanish style, imitating Fernando Alonso there, sliding the car back and forth across the line. So in LMP1 it is Alvarez winning for the first time in DRA, followed by Nienen, followed by Sonic, followed by Gumball, Interceptor and Gold. In LMGT it is Yalk, followed by Outcast, followed by Sem in the other Lamborghini, followed by Johto, Husky and Natty finishing 12th in LMGT.
Everyone real quick if you haven't already, just so that way I can get the time gaps and all that fun stuff for the results.
Yeah. Alvarez is +1 lap to P2. He did 59.
I can get that
Nienen 58 seconds. Well no, Nienen, sorry, 58 laps, 4.6 ahead of Sonic. Sonic 58, 54.005 ahead of Gumball. Gumball 58 laps as well. Interceptor 58 laps. Gold 57 laps. Yalk 53 laps. Outcast 53 laps. Sem, Johto and yourself 53 laps. And Natty is in the pit lane on 49 laps.
Thank you.
That's alright. And I think at that stage it is time for the stream to go. Thank you everyone for watching. I've been your host, and I will be back in a couple of weeks' time with round 8.